What's good, YouTube? So I got a battle against Tyler, and in case you guys don't know him by Tyler, you might know him as Sparkface12. We just had a standard match. He had a standard sand team. He had been gone for a while though, so he did not know about the Escadrille ban. So forgive him on that part, but Escadrille really didn't pose a threat to me, because I guess I'm that great or something. So, yeah, I'm not really that great, but I'm going to lead off with Tornadus. He's going to lead off with Tyranitar. Being that it is a lead Tornadus, he maybe should have expected Hammer Arm, but he may not have, or he thought he could take one Hammer Arm. That's not going to be the case, so my Tornadus takes out his Tyranitar, which was his main setup for Stealth Rocks, he told me. So that's good that no hazards are going to be entered on my side. And I am just going to go for Gliscor, as I know that Gliscor can go ahead and get up the Toxic Orb pretty easily and wall the Escadrille. I went for the Sword Stance though, because I am not the usual Toxic Stalling set. I am actually a Sword Stance set. I was predicting Stealth Rocks or Roar or something to get me out of here, but he goes for the Avalanche, which is going to be a little bit of a bummer, I think. So since he doesn't have the Roar or anything, I'm guessing, I'm going to go ahead and switch into my Gyarados so that I can go ahead and get a Dragon Dance set up. And that Intimidate on the Swampert is going to be very, very nice. So basically, yeah, he is going to withdraw into his Uniclus, which I was a little bit afraid that this thing might have Alolas. But I go for the Taunt as he switches, because I was going to try and stop the Swampert because I wasn't sure what set it was running. So now I'm going to go for the Dragon Dance, and basically he's going to go for the Side Shock, and since it hits on the defensive side, Gyarados can take it rather nicely. Not as nice as I was hoping, but it's still nice enough. So I go for Waterfall because I'm obviously going to die to another Side Shock, so I might as well get some damage, but I do manage to get lucky and get the flinch, which is amazing with the bad luck that I've been having lately, that I actually managed to get the flinch. That's really great. So no, his taunt's going to wear off. I'm just going to go for the Waterfall again, just to go ahead and, I guess, fish for a flinch. I do survive, however, which is rather lovely for me. Not so lovely for him. So he is going to withdraw the Reuniclus because he wants to save it for later. Goes into Heatran. I guess he mentioned on the chat that he was expecting a crunch, but I don't carry the crunch. I just go for the Waterfall. So the Rocky Helmet is going to KO my Gyarados, which is rather disappointing, but it's all good. So now he brings in his Gigalith, and I decided to go for the Taunt because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Turns out he has a Toxic. I thought this thing might be his Stealth Rocker, but I find out that his only Stealth Rocker is the Tyranitar. And as he goes for the switch, I go for the Rain Dance, which means this Escadrille can't really do much. I go for the Hammer Arm, but since I'm not really running any attacking investment, it's not going to KO the Escadrille, but it does do a nice chunk. And right here I do lose my Tornadus, which is rather sad, but I got the Rain up, and I don't think he has anything that sets up Sand. So now I'm going to put in my Jellicent, and he is going to switch out into Swampert, which his switch into Swampert made me a little weary of what he might be carrying, because that switching into Swampert is weird. But I decide to stay in, go for the Toxic. Of course I'm going to miss it because 90% accuracy moves love to mess up for me, which is rather disappointing. And he is going to get a free curse up. He is going to withdraw the Swampert, I guess expecting another Toxic, which I just played safe and go for another Toxic. Probably should have gone for Scald. The rain does stop, however, because my Tornadus wasn't carrying the Damp Rock, so I only had 5 turns of rain, and they're all gone at this point. But I go for the Scald, KO the Excadrill. He went for the X-Scissor, I guess predicting a switch. Maybe expected me to switch out because of Shadow Claw. And right here, I was so very angry at myself. You have no idea how angry I was. So what happened is when I was genning this team, I was genning a little too fast, and I meant to give Conkeldurr a substitute, but I accidentally gave it the submission. So this Conkeldurr was, you know, pretty much useless to me, which really sucks. So I just kind of sent it out to get foddered out and stuff. And yeah, just going to keep going for the stone edges, maybe fishing for a crit, because a crit would be very beneficial. He goes for the side shock, and my conkeldurr is going to go down due to crit. Pretty sure it would have gone down anyway, though. So the crit really does not matter. So now I see a really, really good time to set up some calm minds on my Espeon, especially since even if he has the toxic, he can't do anything about the toxic because I got that magic bounce. And if I get one calm mind up, this thing's going to be annoyingly bulky. So I get up another one because calm minds are great. He is going to go for the focus blast. I guess expected me to switch out, fearing a shadow ball, but you know, I'm getting all set up here. I don't need to switch out. And right, it gets a little stally at this point because I mean, there's not really much I can do. So I go for this third calm mind. He is going to bring in Swampert, which is kind of threatening because this thing could outright KO me with Avalanche or something of the sort. But I just decided to go for that Psyshock. Not sure if it would KO the Swampert, and it does not. Unfortunately, he is going to go for the Waterfall and outright KO my Espeon, which is rather disappointing, but Espeon is rather fragile, so I should have expected it. Well, now I decide to bring in the annoyance of his life in this battle and go for an Earthquake. But the only problem is Espeon was my main counter to that Reuniclus, and now I don't really have a counter, so this isn't going to be good. I go for the Sword Stance. He goes for the Psyshock, which amazes me. I guess he doesn't actually carry the Shadow Ball. He carries something like Toxic or something, I believe. So he doesn't actually carry the Shadow Ball. So he's alternating between Focus Blast and Psyshock. And I just am going to go ahead and get set up to +6 since he can't do anything against this Gliscor. And he had not known that Psyshock hits on the defensive side. Not really sure why he didn't know that, but I guess it's a common mistake. So I am going to get it set up to +6 attack. This Gliscor is going to wreck house now. So I go for the Earthquake, and that's a dead Reuniclus easily, except for the fact that he is obviously running some defensive investment, and since I'm not running any attacking investment on this Gliscor, it will not one-hit KO, but instead 2-hit KO, and 2-hit KOs are just as good. So I go for the Ice Vein to crush any hopes because I completely forgot what he had on his team left, and all he has is Gigalith, so go for one Earthquake. I am not going to KO because it has that sturdy, but it's all a-okay because 2-hit KOs are just as good as 1-hit KOs. He goes for the Stone Edge, does a fairly decent amount, and I just go for the Ice Vein to KO the Gigalith for the LOLs, and that is going to be the match. So comment, like, and sub if you enjoyed it, and go check out his channel. And yeah, see you guys later.